Hi besties, welcome back to the channel. This is So with Somi. On today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how I made this wide leg palazzo trouser with a crop top. So if this is your first time here, welcome, like, share, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. So for this tutorial, I made use of an Ankara fabric. So what I have on fold here is I divided my round hip by 4. It gave me 10. So that 10 I multiplied it by 2. That is 20. So on fold here I have 20 because I don't want my pleated jumpsuit, my pleated palazzo to be too wide. So depending on how wide you want it to be, you can multiply by 3. So here from the starting line, I'm going to go off 1.5 inches for my band. Now I'm going to mark my crouch length. So my crouch is 11. I'm going to add 1 inch to that, making it 12. So this is a pleated palazzo trouser and I don't want it to be tight on my crouch, so I came down 12 inches for my crouch length. So all I'm doing here is just marking out my 12 inches. So now I'm going to take the full length of my palazzo. So the full length of my palazzo is 45 inches. So depending on the length you want your palazzo to be, so for mine I made use of 45 inches. So now we're done marking. Now on the crouch line, we'll be going in. So we're just marking out my 45 inches. So I'm just making sure that the line is straight. So after marking out, this is what I have. So on the crouch line, I'm going to be going in by 2 inches. So if you're on the bigger size, you can make use of 2.5 inches. So I'll go in 2 inches from the crouch line this way, and I'll connect it to the waistline. I'll use a ruler to connect it to the waistline. So after connecting, I'll curve out my crouch line this way. So after curving out, I'm going to give a little shape to my trouser. So from the center line, I'm going to go in by 1.5 inches on the waistline. Then I'll connect it to the crouch line. So remember that our hip side is not straight. So we're going to, that's why we are marking it for 1.5 inches to give it a little shape at the hip side. So I'll do the same thing on the hemline. So on the hemline, I'll be marking in 1.5 inches on the hemline also. So to shaping the leg of the palazzo trouser a little bit so it's not too wild. So I went in by 1.5. So I'll be connecting it to that crouch line too. So at the waistline, we went in by 1.5 inches. We connected it to the hip line, to the crouch line. Now on the hem, we equally went in by 1.5 inches. And we're going to be extending that line to that crouch line this way. So after connecting the lines, this is what we have. The next thing we're going to do now is just to trim off all the excess we have on the side. So we'll get our scissors and we'll trim off all the excess we have on the side. So guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. So please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you recreate any of my videos, you can send me pictures at So with Somi on Instagram. And if you haven't subscribed, before we get back to this video, please make sure that you do what you subscribe. This will help my channel to gain visibility. Thank you guys so much. So after cutting out, this is what we have. We're going to cut out the back. So for the back piece, I folded another fabric into 2 and I placed my front on it. So for the back, I added 3 inches to the 20 inches. So we have 23 inches here. So for the back crouch line, I'll be extending it by 2.5 inches. But if you're on the bigger size, make use of 3 inches. Now from the waistline, I'll be marking 1 inches all the way down this way. Just watch what I'm doing. It's very easy. So after marking it down, I'm going to connect that 1 inches together. Then I'll curve it down to, I'll connect it to my back crouch line. So remember, for the back crouch line extension, I extended it by 2.5 inches. So on the side of the palazzo trouser, I'll be marking 1 inches all the way down to the hem. So after marking the 1 inches, I'll connect it straight down to the hem this way. So this is what we have. So the next thing we're going to do now is, as we are done marking out now, we are just going to cut out all the excess we have on the sides. Is that easy? So it's very easy. So if there is any way you don't understand, just pause, watch calmly, because as I am talking, my hands are equally doing the job. So if you have any questions you want to ask me, the comment section is always open. You can ask me questions on comment section. And if you have any tutorials you want me to recreate, you can equally send me a DM at sewwithsomi on Instagram. So after cutting it, this is what we have. I'm going to take off one piece so that we can work with one piece. So now I'll take it to the machine. I'm going to stitch the crotch line with 1/2 inch. I'll equally do the same for the other side. So I'll do that and bring it back to show you what we have. So after stitching, this is what I have. I'm going to open up my palazzo trouser this way. So do you see how wide this waistline is looking? So if you make use of 3-inch, like times 3 of your waist, of your hip, it's going to be bigger than this. So depending on how big you want it to be. So now this is what we have. So my waist is actually 28. So if you divide it by 2, it will give you 14. So divide it by 4, it will give you 7. So on each side of this pants, I'll be having 7 inches, but I'll add 1 inch. I'll add 1 inch to each side for my stitching allowance, so which means I'll be having 8 inches on both sides. So now from that center line, remember we've already closed our crotch, so from the center line I started pleating my trouser. So as I'm pleating, I'll be measuring to make sure that I have 8 inches. So as you pleat, make sure you have 8 inches. So I'm equally pleating the other side. So on the other side, I've gotten my 8 inches. Now I'm pleating the other side. So now we are pleating it to the center line, which is our crotch line. So as you pleat, make sure you do what you measure to be sure that your measurement is correct. So do not rush this process. It's just take it gradually. So after pleating, I measured and I got 8 inches on both sides. Now if I measure the whole waist, I will be having 16 inches. So now this is what I have. Remember my waist is 14, then 1 inch is for stitching allowance. Now this is for the back piece. Just like I did for the front, I'll start pleating too. So as I pleat, I'll do what I will be measuring. As I pleat, I'll be measuring. So this will help you to be sure that you're doing it correctly. So now I've pleated this side and I'll measure to be sure I have 8 inches. So here I have 8 inches. So make sure you measure so that if it's not correct, you can lose and adjust. Now I'm going to pleat the other side too. So now this is what I have. I have 8 inches on both sides. So if I measure, I have 8 inches. Now if I measure the whole waist, I'll be having 16 inches. So this is what I have. Now I'll take it to the machine to stitch it so that I can hold it together and bring it back to show you. So after stitching it together, this is what I have. I'll place the 2 pants together. I'll take it to the machine. I'll stitch with 1 inch all the way down, and I equally do the same. Now I'll do that and bring it back. So now I've stitched the side with 1 inch. So on this side I left 7 inches for where I'll be putting my zipper. So now I'll join the 2 crotch lines together. I'll take it to the machine, holding it together, making sure that the crotch are matching. I'll stitch with 1/2 inch. So after stitching, this is what I have. Now I've equally stitched my crotch. Now is what I have. So this is for my band. So the width is 4 inches. I'm going to hold it together this way. I'll take it to the machine and I'll attach my band and bring it back to show you. After attaching my band, this is what I have. So this is how neat everything came out looking. So I've not inserted my zip. I'll do that later. And for the hem of the trouser, I've already done that. So I'll keep it aside so we'll draft out our crop top. So for my top, I folded my fabric and I've marked out my starting line. So for my starting line, I'm going to come down 9 inches for my chest line. So to get your chest line, divide your round bust by 6, add 1.5 inches to that, and that is your chest line. So for the full length of my top, I'm making use of 17 inches. So my half length is 16. I added extra 1 inch to that, making it 17. So here, all I'm doing is I'm adding extra half inch to that measurement, so it's going to be 17.5. I'll be using that half an inch to hem my top. So depending on how cropped you want your top to be, so you can make use of whatever length you want. Just make use of your preference. So now on the starting line, I'm going to divide my round shoulder by 2, which is 7.5, and I'll equally mark that on the chest line. So my round shoulder divided by 2 is 15. So 15, my round shoulder is 15 divided by 2 gives you 7.5. Now for the neck width, I made use of a neck width of 3.5 inches. And for the depth, I made use of 3 inches. So this top has no zip, so that is why I made use of 3.5 by 3 inches so that my head can easily pass through. Now I'm going to mark 1 inch for my shoulder slope. So if you're going to make use of a zip, you're going to make use of 3 inches by 3 inches. Now for the back, you mark 3 inches by 1 inch. I'll divide what I have on the armhole. I have 8 inches. Half of 8 is 4. On that point, I came in by half an inch. On the chest line, I'll divide my round bust by 4. I'll mark that. So now I'm going to cover out my armhole. So now I'm going to add 1 inch for ease and another 1 inch for my stitching allowance. So this ease I added, I later removed it because the top was now looking too big. So now whatever measurement I have on the bust line, I'll take it down to the waistline because this is a box top and the waist is not meant to be fitted. So I'll take that measurement down to the waist this way. So this is what we have. So we don't need that for this top. All we have to do now is on the shoulder, I'll be adding half an inch onto the shoulder. So I'll be using this half an inch to join the shoulders together. So after marking out, the next thing we're going to do is just to trim out the excess we have. So remember that since this top doesn't have a zip at the back, we'll be using this one to cut out another one exactly the same. So we use this front to cut the back exactly the same, so don't get confused. So after cutting, I've placed the fabric on another folded fabric to cut out exactly the same thing I have for the back. So just like I said, this top does not have a zipper at the back, so we are using this to cut out the back exactly the same. This way it will enable our head to pass through to get easily. It will enable our head to pass through easily. So after cutting out, this is what I have. I'll open it up this way. So now for the neckline, I'll be making use of a black bias. So I'll open it up this way. I'll take it to the machine. I'll stitch it all around. After that, I'll flip it to the wrong side. So I'll equally do the same for this second piece. I'll use a bias to turn it. After turning it, I'm going to place the two of them right side facing each other. So adjusting it, I'll join the shoulders with half an inch and I'll join the side with 1/2 inch. I'll do that and bring it back. So after stitching, this is what I have. This is the bias and this is what the top looks like. So now for my sleeve, I'll be using this piece. So for the length of my sleeve is 12 inches and I came down 4 inches for my biceps. So now for the tip, I'll just be curving out my armhole this way. So this is how I get my armhole easily. Now I'm going to measure my round armhole measurement plus extra 1 inch. I'll mark that. Now on the full length, I'll measure my round sleeve measurements here and 1 inch stitching allowance. I'll connect. Now I'm going to trace out the excess we have there. So after cutting, I opened this. This is what my sleeve like. I'll close it together. I'll take it to the machine and stitch with 1 inch. Then I will attach it to the top. So after attaching my top, this is how everything came out looking. Is that easy? And I've equally hemmed the sleeve and I've hemmed the dress itself. So this is how easy it is to draft out this two piece. So guys, thank you so much for watching up to this point. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you on my next video. Bye.